On a quiet evening in Memphis, a loud bang was heard from a motel balcony. A man fell. Shock and sadness quickly spread across the country that day. The man was not just anyone. He had a big dream. He hoped for a world where people of all colors could live together in peace and respect each other. That man was Martin Luther King Jr. His death in 1968 made many cry, but his words and actions still live on. Why do people still talk about him today? Martin Luther King Jr. was more than just a speaker. He was a leader in a movement for civil rights. He wanted all people to have equal chances in life. When he spoke, crowds listened. He used kind words, not anger. His voice gave hope to many who felt they had no power or place in their own land. Even after his death, many leaders, students, and families remember his dream. His message changed a nation and still gives many people hope. Flags were lowered, and many cried. His funeral brought thousands together. People came from near and far to say goodbye and to thank him for his work. But why did this man matter so much? Why did his dream speak to so many? What did he believe in that made millions follow his path? In this book, we will learn who Martin Luther King Jr. was, what he stood for, and why we still share his dream today. His story still teaches us today. Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia. At birth, he was named Michael Luther King Jr., just like his father. Later, his father changed both of their names to Martin in honor of a famous church leader. Martin grew up in a house full of love and strong values. His family went to church often. His father worked as a preacher. He also spoke out for Black people's rights in their city and helped with community problems. Martin's mother was a kind teacher who also taught music. She helped him love learning. His home life made him strong and ready to help others one day. Martin had an older sister and a younger brother. They played, sang, and studied together. Their parents taught them to believe in fairness and respect. Even as a child, Martin saw that some people were not treated well because of their skin color. This made him ask many questions about fairness in life. Martin was a very smart student. He skipped 2 grades in school and started college when he was only 15 years old. That was a big step for someone so young. He went to Morehouse College, a place where many Black men studied. He read many books and learned to speak clearly and kindly, just like his father. During this time, he started to think deeply about life and how to help people. These early years helped shape the man he would later become. After college, Martin still had many questions. He was unsure about his faith, but he wanted to learn more. He joined a school for future preachers called seminary. At seminary, he read many books and listened to great teachers. Slowly, his faith became strong again. He began to believe deeply in love, peace, and helping others. Later, he went to Boston University to study more. There, he worked hard and earned a very high degree called a PhD. It showed how serious he was about learning. While in Boston, Martin met a woman named Coretta Scott. She was smart and loved music. They enjoyed talking and they both cared about justice and freedom. Martin and Coretta fell in love. In 1953, they got married. They later had 4 children. Their family was full of love and strong values, just like Martin's home. Coretta stayed strong while Martin traveled for his work. She helped raise their children and stood by him when things were very hard and scary. Soon after his studies, Martin became a preacher at a church in Alabama. People liked to hear him speak. He gave sermons full of hope and peace. He also saw that Black people were not treated fairly. This made him want to do more. He thought deeply and prayed about how to help in a peaceful way. These first years as a preacher helped Martin grow. He learned how to lead people with love and calm, even when others were angry or afraid. In December 1955, a woman named Rosa Parks took a seat on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama. She did not get up when a white man wanted the seat. She was arrested. This brave act made many people angry and sad. The black people of Montgomery decided to stop riding the buses until the rules were fair for everyone. Martin Luther King Jr. was chosen to lead this protest. He asked people to stay peaceful while they walked to work and school instead of taking the bus. The bus boycott lasted over 1 year. Black people walked long miles every day. Martin gave talks and prayed with them. He told them to stay strong and not fight. Some people were angry at Martin and his work. His home was even bombed, but he still wanted peace. He told people to love others, even those who were unkind. At last, in December 1956, the Supreme Court said bus rules that separated people were not legal. Black people in Montgomery could now sit anywhere on the bus. This bus victory gave hope to many other places. People in other towns also started to ask for their rights. They wanted better schools, jobs, and respect. To help more people work together, Martin helped start a group. It was called the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, or SCLC for short. The SCLC brought leaders from many cities. They talked and planned peaceful events. They used love and calm voices to bring big changes to their towns. Martin learned a lot from a man named Gandhi. Gandhi helped free India using peace instead of violence. Martin saw that love could be stronger than hate. He believed that if people stayed calm, even if others were mean, they could make good change. He told people to walk, speak, and act with peace. Martin used these ideas in every march and talk. He showed the world that change was possible, even without fighting or hurting others back. After the bus boycott, Martin became a strong leader in the movement. He walked with crowds and gave speeches, but this also brought much trouble his way. He was arrested more than 20 times for marching and speaking out. Even though he was put in jail, he never stopped working for equal and fair rights for all people. Martin believed in standing up without hate. He knew these acts would help bring change. People across the country started to look at him with deep respect. One of his most famous days was in August 1963. He stood at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., to speak to over 250,000 people asking for justice and peace. There, he gave his famous "I Have a Dream" speech. It was full of hope, love, and big goals. His dream was for black and white children to live equally in the future. The speech was shared on the news and in papers. Many people, even around the world, were touched by his words and began to believe change was truly possible. After this, Martin's work was known by millions. In 1963, he was named Man of the Year by Time magazine. This award was very special and showed his great impact. Martin did not do his work for awards, but being on the magazine helped more people learn about his peaceful struggle and the fight for fairness in the United States. He used this attention to speak louder for those who had no voice. He always remembered the poor, the hurt, and those who couldn't stand up alone. In 1964, something amazing happened. Martin Luther King Jr. won the Nobel Peace Prize at age 35, the youngest person ever to win at that time. He felt great honor. He gave his prize money to help civil rights groups. Martin said he did not win this prize alone, but shared it with everyone who worked for peace and justice. This showed how deeply he cared. He could have kept it, but he chose to help others. His message grew stronger, and more people joined the peaceful path. Even after speeches and prizes, danger followed Martin Luther King Jr. One night, a bomb exploded at his home while his wife and child were inside. Thankfully, no one was hurt. But the danger was real. People were scared and angry. Many came to his house, ready to fight. Martin stopped them with calm words. He stood outside, raised his hand, and asked them to go home with peace in their hearts. He said they must not answer hate with more hate. It was a powerful moment. His children saw the danger too. One day, a classmate said unkind words about Martin being in jail. His child cried, but later felt proud of Martin's reason for going. Coretta and the children were often watched or followed. Even then, the family stayed strong. Their home was full of love, even when the world outside was unfair. Martin often said they had to love others, even if they were not loved back. He believed in this so deeply that he never let fear stop him from doing what was right. In 1965, a big march was planned from the town of Selma in Alabama. It was to fight for the right to vote. The first march ended in violent attacks from the police. This day became known as Bloody Sunday. People saw it on TV and were shocked. Martin did not give up. He planned a new peaceful march with support from many. He and others walked again. This time, they were helped by guards sent by the president. It showed how strong peaceful actions could bring good change. Soon, Martin worked with President Johnson to help pass a new law. The law gave more people the right to vote fairly, without unfair rules or tricks. This was a big win for the civil rights movement. It meant that all Americans could have a say in their leaders. Martin's work helped make this happen. Even after success, there was still much to do. Martin worked hard to end unfairness not just in voting, but also in jobs, homes, and schools for everyone. As time went on, Martin Luther King Jr. started to speak about more than just civil rights. He also talked about the sadness of war, unfair jobs, and money problems. Some people did not like this change, but Martin believed he had to fight against all forms of unfairness. That meant speaking up for poor people and those hurt by war. He said that true peace was not only the end of fighting, but also giving everyone food, homes, and jobs. His voice became louder for those who had no one to help them. In April 1968, Martin went to Memphis, Tennessee. He went to help city workers who picked up trash. These workers wanted better pay and safe working places. They were called sanitation workers. Their jobs were hard and they were treated badly. Martin believed they had the right to be heard and to live with pride. He walked with them in the streets. He told people to stay peaceful even when they were angry. He said, "We are all brothers no matter our job or skin." One night before a big walk, Martin gave a powerful talk. He spoke to a crowd and told them not to stop. He said he was happy to help, even if he died. He said, "I may not get there with you, but we as a people will get to the promised land." Many felt his words were full of love, strength, and something more. This speech is called "I've Been to the Mountaintop." It was his last speech. In it, he showed no fear. His belief in peace and justice was still strong. The next evening, Martin stood on a small balcony outside his motel room in Memphis. Friends were near. They were getting ready for another peaceful march. Suddenly, a loud noise was heard. Martin fell. His friends rushed to help, but it was too late. A man named James Earl Ray had shot him and then ran away. News of Martin's death spread fast. Around the world, people cried and felt deep pain. One of the most loved leaders was gone, but his light did not go out. Even though Martin Luther King Jr. died in 1968, his dream continues to live. People still talk about his work for peace, fairness, and hope for a better future. To honor him, the United States made the third Monday of every January a special day. It is called Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and it is a national holiday. This day is not just for rest. It is a time to help others and think about ways to make our world more fair and kind, just like Martin taught us to do. Many towns have parades, songs, or speeches on this day. Children learn about Martin's dream, and families may give their time to serve others in their area. In schools, students read about Martin and the civil rights movement. They draw pictures, write stories, and share their thoughts about freedom and peace. Even young people can help keep his dream alive. They can be kind to others, speak up when something is wrong, and always treat people with love and care. Today, many places and schools are named after Martin Luther King Jr. His name can be found on street signs, parks, and even large buildings around the country. These places remind people to follow his peaceful way. They are not just names. They are signs to keep working for kindness, equal rights, and respect for all. Statues and photos of Martin also help us remember his strong voice and his walk for justice. These pictures show his brave heart and calm spirit. Big marches were important, but small acts helped too. Some people cooked for marchers. Others shared beds or gave money quietly to help the cause of freedom. One woman who used crutches said she would march in Florida, even when it was dangerous. Her small steps became a strong light in a dark time. These quiet heroes may not be famous, but their work was full of heart. Their help made the big wins possible, just like Martin's calm way of leading. Martin's dream still speaks today. When we see unfair things, we can speak up kindly. When someone is left out, we can choose to be their friend. Children can play with kids who look different. Adults can vote and work together with hearts full of care. These small things carry Martin's dream forward. His voice may be gone, but his dream still grows. Each time someone shows love, fairness, or peace, they help keep his dream alive in the world today.